the shape of defiance. From the surface of Earth, the fortress looked like a second moon, low, broad, and wrong in a way that made every human who saw it feel strangely safe. They called it the Anvil because it did not move to meet the enemy. It waited. High above the blue curve of the planet, the station rotated with deliberate slowness, layer upon layer of armored steel catching the sun. Antenna spires bristled from its crown like a city turned outward, and deep within its circular body, reactors hummed with the steady confidence of something built to endure pain. Admiral Hannah Idris watched it from the command deck below, her hands folded behind her back. She had helped design its doctrine, though not its shape. The shape came later, after humanity learned a hard lesson among the stars. Sleek things broke beautifully. Ugly things survived. Contact in 3 minutes, the sensor officer reported. His voice was steady, but his heart rate betrayed him. The screens bloomed with data as space itself folded open. One by one, alien vessels spilled into real space, thousands of them forming patterns so perfect they looked rehearsed. Their hulls gleamed like polished bone and liquid light, artifacts of a civilization that believed war was a performance. Velothi Dominion, Idris said softly. Right on schedule. A transmission cut through the bridge translated instantly. Human species, the alien voice intoned, layered and cold. You are in violation of Dominion expansion law. Deactivate your orbital construct and prepare for annexation. Resistance is inefficient. A murmur rippled through the crew. Idris didn't raise her voice when she replied. Earth declines. Silence followed. Then laughter, sharp, alien, disbelieving. The Velothi fired first. Lances of stellar energy tore across orbit, slamming into the Anvil's upper plates. Fire blossomed. Alarms flared. The bridge shook as if struck by a distant storm. Damage? Idris asked. Outer armor breached in 12 locations, came the answer. No critical systems affected. The Anvil kept turning. Internal doors sealed. Heat vanished into sinks older than most nations. Repair drones spilled from hidden bays like insects from a cracked hive. Welding, sealing, adapting. On the alien command ships, confusion spread. That station should be crippled, a Velothi tactician hissed. But humanity had never built the Anvil to avoid damage. They built it to accept it. Deep within the fortress, ancient rails charged, drawing power from reactors that fed cities when peace reigned. Human warships detached from docking rings, engines burning hot and bright, scattering not in formation but intent. Admiral Idris allowed herself a thin smile. Notify all hands, she said. Humanity is about to introduce itself properly. Weapons of will. The first human shot was not beautiful. It was a slab of metal the size of a freight train, hurled from the Anvil's primary rail at a fraction of light speed. No warning flare. No elegant glow. Just mass velocity and inevitability. Velothi's sensors screamed too late. The slug punched through the lead cruiser, then the one behind it, and detonated in the heart of a third. 3 ships vanished in the space of a heartbeat, torn apart by physics rather than fire. Formation coherence collapsed instantly, the alien fleet rippling like a shattered mirror. What weapon was that? A Velothi commander demanded. The answer echoed across open channels, translated by accident rather than mercy. Railgun discharge confirmed, a human tactical officer reported calmly. Impact exceeded projections. Railguns were primitive by Velothi. Standards inelegant, wasteful. No, civilization with pride still used. Them at this scale, humans did. The Anvil's outer ring split apart, revealing rows of launch ports. Missiles poured out, not glowing lances, but blunt cylinders that scattered mid-flight, breaking into clouds of autonomous fragments. They didn't chase individual ships. They chased patterns, command clusters, supply lines, retreat vectors. Velothi doctrine unraveled. Maintain formation, their admiral shouted. Human ships refused to give them one. Small, blocky vessels surged forward, armor thick and scarred, engines screaming. They absorbed hits that should have crippled them and kept coming, closing the distance until alien targeting solutions failed entirely. Then the humans boarded. Magnetic pods slammed into Velothi hulls with bone-jarring force. Human marines cut through elegant corridors with industrial tools and brutal efficiency. Their armor heavy, their movements fast and final. The Velothi had never faced an enemy that treated their ships like terrain, rather than sanctuaries. On the Anvil's bridge, Admiral Idris watched casualty reports scroll past. Human losses mounted. She did not flinch. "We are holding the line," she said. "That is enough." The Velothi escalated. Energy built across their largest vessels, weapons designed to crack planets. The void glowed with gathering heat as targeting arrays locked onto the Anvil's core. "Brace," Idris ordered. The alien volley struck like a falling star. Armor plates vaporized. Entire sections of the fortress disappeared in white-hot fury. For a moment, it looked as if the Velothi were right. Nothing could endure that kind of power. Then the sensors cleared. The Anvil still hung in orbit, burned, breached, bleeding atmosphere into space but alive. Emergency bulkheads sealed. Secondary reactors flared to life. Ancient systems never meant to be used together, synchronized under pressure. On alien bridges, fear finally found a name. "That structure should be dead," a Velothi voice whispered. Admiral Idris leaned forward. "Charge the main cannon," she said quietly. The line that held. The main cannon of the Anvil had only fired twice before, once in testing, once in anger. Charging it dimmed Earth. Cities below saw their lights flicker as power was siphoned upward, through orbital relays and ancient conduits, laid down when humanity still feared the dark. The fortress drank deeply, not greedily but with purpose. Reactors howled. Magnetic rings screamed under. Stress no engineer had ever expected them to survive again. "Target locked," the fire control officer said, voice tight. "Velothi command carrier." On the view screen, it hung at the center of the alien fleet, a masterpiece of symmetry and arrogance, glowing with layered shields and ceremonial spires, the heart of the invasion, the brain behind the blade. Admiral Hana Idris did not raise her voice. "Fire!" The universe bent. There was no explosion at first, no flash to mark the moment. Space simply tore. A lance of compressed mass and energy crossed the distance in less than a second, ignoring shields as if they were polite suggestions. The command carrier ceased to exist. Not destroyed. Not shattered. Removed. The shockwave rippled outward, collapsing Velothi formations, tearing smaller ships from their vectors. Communications went silent. Coordinated movement died with their leaders, replaced by panic and instinct. "Enemy fleet is withdrawing," sensors reported. Disbelief bleeding through discipline. Multiple jump signatures forming. Human ships pursued just far enough to be remembered. They did not chase into deep space. They did not finish the slaughter. The Anvil did not fire again. It didn't need to. As the last Velothi vessels tore themselves back into hyperspace, a transmission echoed across every frequency. Open, unencrypted, and very human. "This was your warning." Silence followed. Wreckage drifted through orbit like falling leaves. Damaged human ships limped home, scarred but intact. Repair crews poured across the Anvil's broken sections, welding new plates over old ones, making the fortress heavier, uglier, stronger. On the surface below, billions looked up at the night sky and slept easier. Even as fires still burned in orbit, Admiral Idris remained on the bridge long after the battle ended. "We held," someone said quietly. Idris nodded. "That's all we ever promised." Across the galaxy, the data spread: battle recordings, sensor logs, casualty ratios. Military councils replayed the same impossible moment again and again. A species that didn't fight for dominance or glory or conquest. They fought for home, and they drew a line around it with steel, sacrifice, and stubborn refusal. Humanity did not declare itself ruler of the stars. It did something far more dangerous. It proved that some worlds were not worth taking. Above Earth, the Anvil returned to its patient rotation. Silent, wounded, unbowed, the line had been drawn, and the universe at last learned to respect it.